Hi, this is Mrs. Bazin, and today we're going to talk about types of compounds. So in this unit, we're going to learn how to name compounds. So what a compound is a substance that's made of two or more elements that are in fixed, definite proportions. So compounds are formed when atoms combine. So most elements are not found by themselves, they're combined with another element, and they combine to become stable. Compounds are represented with a chemical formula. So a chemical formula is useful because it can tell us which elements are in the formula or in the compound, and it can tell us how many of each are in that particular compound. So in this example here, H2O, that tells us first that compound is made out of hydrogen and oxygen, and then that little subscript of 2 tells us that there's 2 hydrogen, and then when there's not a subscript next to an element, that's an implied 1. So in this particular compound, there would be 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. So compounds can be classified into 4 main types, and they're classified based on what types of elements make them up. So if you remember from the last unit, metals were on the left side, nonmetals were on the right side, the metalloids were kind of in between, and then we have to remember that hydrogen is classified as a nonmetal even though it's on the metal side. So an ionic compound is made up of a metal and a nonmetal. A molecular or a covalent compound is made out of 2 or more nonmetals. An acid has hydrogen first with a nonmetal or multiple nonmetals, and then a metallic compound is made out of multiple metals. So when we're classifying these, we have to be able to classify them based on the elements that are present in the formula, and then we'll learn how to name those once we know how to classify those. So this is how this works when you're classifying. So what you're going to do is look at the elements that are present in the compound, figure out whether they're metals or nonmetals, and then go back to your types and classify them based on what's in the compound. So in this case, I have copper, which is a metal, which is right here, and chlorine, which is a nonmetal. So based on those definitions that we just wrote down, a metal and a nonmetal form an ionic compound. In my next one, I have hydrogen first with a nonmetal. So if it starts with hydrogen and it's not water, that's classified as an acid. Next one, nitrogen is a nonmetal. Hydrogen is a nonmetal. So nonmetal is classified as covalent or molecular. K and F. K is a metal, F is a nonmetal. So based on our classifications, that would be ionic. There's another one that starts with H, combined with nonmetals. This is another acid. And later on, we'll talk about the difference between this type of acid and this type of acid. And then our last one, copper and tin. Copper's right here. Tin is right here. Both metals. So that would be classified as metallic.